Yes guys, what's going on? What's up? So just doing a quick video again. Come on man. Anyway, right, just doing a quick video. And this video is about CHINO Maidana. Yeah? Because right now, first of all, right, we're past the whole Mayweather saga, and I'm really glad we're past the whole Mayweather Maidana saga. I don't think there was need for a rematch. I think it was a waste of a fight. First fight, we saw what happened, and we kind of knew what was going to happen in the second fight. You know, Maidana's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but like for Mayweather's style, just don't know, man. It's not. You know, I always said it from the beginning that, you know, he's not the style I want to see. We've seen Mayweather up against that style again and again, and he always finds a way to win against that style. Whether he wins very convincingly or he just about scrapes it, Mayweather always will pull off the win against a fighter like that. Maybe if he's facing a Jake LaMotta or a Triple G type opponent, right, a heavy guy who's got skill, who's tough and rough and will keep coming forward, and is a very big guy, I mean bigger than Maidana, huge. But then again, you know, it is Maidana weighs heavy as well on fight night and blah 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 blah. So Mayweather against that style opponent, I don't want to see it. Back to CHINO Maidana, right? What's next for this guy? Now, Maidana is a really likable character. Over the past few weeks, I've heard a lot about Maidana, and it's just been constantly like I've been hearing Maidana, right? Don't ask why, but I have. Anyway, right? So Maidana seems is like a really cool cat. What I like about Maidana is his personality. Of recent, yeah, he does a bit of rough and tumble fighting. He's a dirty fighter. Yeah, he's a dirty fighter. He's Maidana. He's a bad boy, right? He's a bad boy fighter. That's what he is. But he's got skill. He's got power. And again, he is definitely, in my opinion, when I grow like older in about 20-30 years, I'm going to remember Maidana as a keystone. I might forget certain fighters here and then. I won't remember them properly, and you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen in my memory here. But CHINO Maidana is going to be a fighter I will remember of this era. I mean, if you think about it, Maidana is the fighter that's been involved with some of the most exciting, best fights of this era. He's been in with the best of this era. I mean, he's been in with Mayweather. He's been in with Broner, Ortiz, Khan. I mean, you know, the list goes on, and Maidana has been has been in there with the very best. Now, Maidana's expressed interest to be fighting with Manny Pacquiao, okay? But the reason Maidana's not fighting, I don't want to say because it's not my place to say, right? But I know why he's not fighting. It's a very deep-rooted issue why he's not fighting in 2014 late. And he ain't ducking no one or nothing like that. It's nothing bad, like in terms of boxing. It's just a different issue altogether, which has nothing to do with me, and it's not something I put on camera because I'm not that sort of guy. But CHINO Maidana says he's not fighting 2014. He's hoping to fight early 2015. But you know what? There's doubts even about that. And it's, you know, CHINO Maidana is in the peak of his career. Okay, and if anybody's listening to this, right, who takes care of Chino Maidana's career or whatever, right, listen, Maidana is in the peak pinnacle of his career. Things will change in your life. Like in my life, things might change, right? Certain opportunities don't arise again. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, and I'm a laid back character, like I like to, you know, I don't send if I, you know, I don't like to just jump at something. I'm just not that sort of guy. I like to sit back and assess the situation and then see how it goes. But sometimes you have to grasp a situation and you have to grasp a moment. And CHINO Maidana is hot. He is very hot right now. He is the in fighter right now. He's just come off a fight to Mayweather. He did well in the first fight. I mean, if you look at that gif that's going about and that little clip where he hits Mayweather on the chin and it seems like Mayweather's tooth came out, I mean, that's some serious exposure. You know, that's some serious exposure. Everybody knows Maidana at the moment, right? Not only that, the 147 division is very hot, very hot. And Maidana, in my opinion, is a fighter who can beat anyone in the 147 division. Apart from Mayweather, he can beat anyone. I'm not saying he will, but he can. He's got the... If he faces... Look, I'll say it off the bat. If he faces Amir Khan, he's got the one punch to knock Amir Khan out. If he faces Manny Pacquiao, he's got the one punch to knock Manny Pacquiao out. If he faces Keith One-Time Thurman, he's got the punch to knock Keith Thurman out. He's got the punch to knock everyone out in the 147 division. I'm not saying he will, but he's got it. And he's got the skill to be able to land the punch. If you could land a right hand, overhand right against Mayweather, if you could do what you did in the first fight against Mayweather, that means you're catching opponents in 147. Okay? I mean, we look at his performance against Bronner, right? And look how he demolished Bronner. He demolished him. I mean, really demolished him. And he's improved since the Bronner fight. He's improved, okay? He's really, really hot right now, is Maidana, okay? And he needs to strike while he's hot. He's with Al Haymon. The big fights are out there for him. Kell Brook's got a world title, right? I mean, there's so many, like, Marquez is there, Pacquiao's there, Amir's there, Porter's there. There's so many fighters out there, and I think Maidana needs to strike right now, and I don't think he should take the Bronner fight. I'd like to see it. I would love to see the Bronner fight, but if I was in Marcus Maidana's position, I wouldn't see any need, because the welterweight division is so stacked that you can fight someone else and just leave that there. But I'm looking at it from Marcus Maidana's, in Marcus Maidana's eyes and his career, not in terms of Bronner, not in terms of as a fight fan. I'm looking at it in the eyes of El Chino. And if I was Marcus El Chino Maidana, right, I just wouldn't take that fight. So there's talks that Danny Garcia's gonna move up. There's talks he's staying at 140. Okay, nobody really knows until it's announced, but that's another fight. I mean, there are so many fights. There's talk of Lamont Peterson moving up to 147. There's Matisse in Argentina. You can make a fight with him at a catchweight. There's so many fights, or Australia at 147. I mean, there's just so many fights out there for Maidana, and I really feel like he should be fighting towards the end of 2014, get himself back into that. You know, he's hot, so just keep yourself hot. You know, fight. Obviously, there are reasons why he's not fighting. So, what's next for Marcus Maidana in 2015? Okay, so let's look at the landscape of boxing right now. It's hot. The 147 division is so hot. I think it's gone even hotter when Kell Brook proved himself to be 147 elite caliber. Okay, I was waiting for this. You know, Kell Brook, the thing with Kell Brook is he didn't prove himself for a long time. And people doubt him even now. I don't doubt him anymore, because for me, he's proved himself. And once the fighters proved themselves and put themselves up against the best, you have to give them full credit and rate them. I mean, I was rating Kell Brook as soon as he announced that fight with Sean Porter. Like, I says that Kell Brook is, you know, he's got, because you know what it is, it's not the skill that ever baffled me about Brook, because I used to be a huge Brook fan, yeah, in terms of like the way he was fighting, the way he was progressive, and then he kind of like hit a brick wall, and maybe it wasn't his fault, but like he did not have them fights what he needed to have at the right time, you know, for injuries and for whatever reason, he didn't have them fights what he needed, and then he looked suspect against Carson Jones. There was an era where Kell Brook was not looking like, you know, he's ever gonna reach that big stage. I mean, it came to a point of like, whoa, what the hell, man? Is he gonna fight someone? But then he did fight someone. He fought an in prime, young, hungry, credible win. He fought. It was a very. People always downgrade fights after the fight, right? And they start, and as this fight, and as the hype wears off, they'll be like, oh, Sean Porter wasn't all that. And if you listen, Sean Porter was hot, and he was an in-fighter, prime, hungry, coming off 2 devastating wins, right? And Kell Brook battled it out, and he edged it, and he won. Okay. Irrespective of who you got on your scorecards, irrespective of if you felt Porter was more active or anything, Kell Brook pulled off the win in that fight. But this is what I'm saying now. Kell Brook's hot right now, and Porter's still around. You see, Porter isn't finished. You know what I mean? Porter isn't finished. Just had one loss. You know, loss in boxing doesn't mean anything, right? And yeah, it's degraded his stock a little bit, Porter's stock, but it doesn't mean he's not in. So you've got all these fighters, and who should Maidana fight? I mean, look, Sean Porter's hoping to come back towards the end of the year, if not early 2015. Pacquiao's facing Algeria, but we know that there's the Al Haymon issue and the Golden Boy beef and the Top Rank beef, and you know, I don't think that's going to happen, because you know, if we can't make Pacquiao versus Mayweather, I mean, who's going to make Maidana versus Pacquiao? You know, like, it's just, I don't think it's going to happen. Amir's facing Devin Alexander, but obviously he wants the Mayweather fight. If Devin Alexander wins that fight, he might get Mayweather, but if not, he might get a rematch with Max Maidana. I'd love to see that as well. Sean Porter's in the mix, like I said. Pacquiao, I don't think will happen. We've got Juan Manuel Marquez with Top Rank. I don't think it'll happen. Timothy Bradley, I don't think it's going to happen. Even if he gets through Diego Chavez, I don't think that can happen. Top Rank, Al Haymon, Golden Boy, I just don't see it. I mean, there's Kell Brook out there, but like, I think Kell Brook, does he want CHINO right now? Is it a good fight for him? I don't think so. Could he win? I think Kell Brook would stand a good chance of winning, to be honest, against Maidana because of the style. But could he win? Could he actually beat? I mean, Maidana ain't Sean Porter. He's proven, you know, he's been up against the best, and he is a lethal fighter. Maidana's a very difficult style, and yeah. So I mean, who else is there? Am I missing anyone? There's so many fights. I mean, like, there's Matisse that you could fight pay-per-view. I don't understand why that fight doesn't get made. Matisse, that could be pay-per-view in Argentina. I don't know how big they are in Argentina, but I'm assuming they are really big. From what I see or what I hear, I don't live in Argentina, but they must be really big. To make a pay-per-view between the two, like, doesn't that make sense? Or just create a fight between the two, doesn't that make real good sense? I think it does. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see that fight. I mean, there's so many fights at 147 for him. Who else is there? There's I'm missing some people. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Oh, Robert Guerrero. I mean, who's Guerrero fighting? You know, is he going to be here in 2015? Is he fighting? Sorry, is he going to be here in 2014? Is he fighting? Is he having another fight? I don't know. Wasn't he supposed to face Amir Khan? He was supposed to, but what I heard, and I heard this, that of several sources, in fact, that Robert Guerrero, they were struggling to make the fight because Guerrero was pricing himself out of that fight, and he was asking for, he was just being ridiculous with the negotiations from what I hear. But like, Robert Guerrero versus Maidana, two previous Mayweather opponents to face each other, two previous losers to Mayweather, right? They both lost, right? Nobody's beat Mayweather though, but like, to put them two together in a mix, I swear it would be a good fight. I think that would be a wicked fight. And they can make that. They can make that. But again, it's like, Al Haymon, is he willing to expend? Is he willing to dispose and expend of one of them fighters, his main fighters? You know, Guerrero is a main fighter. Kind of pay-per-view value. I mean, would that fight be pay-per-view? Maidana versus Guerrero? I think it could be. Mexico versus Argentina. Maidana's got a Mexican following as well. Comes from the Robert Garcia camp. I mean, there's so many fights, and you know what the thing is, again, what I'm saying to you, El Chino can take anyone. He can take anybody in the division. I mean that. I really mean that. He can take anyone in that division. But like, we need to sort this top rank stuff out, because there's fights there for Chino with top rank. There's Rios, you know. There's Provodnikov. I mean, would you guys not love to see Ruslan Provodnikov versus El Chino Maidana at 147? I think Chino takes him apart, to be honest. I think Chino's too much of a better boxer. And you know what? Marcus El Chino Maidana's got one of my favourite styles in boxing. He's got that peekaboo thing going on. And I just think that I really just want to see him up against top rank fighters. And there's so many fighters I want to see him up against. Who's next for Chino? I'll be happy, but whoever it is, if he needs to take a tune-up fight after the Mayweather loss, I don't think that makes sense for him, because he already had a downslide in his career and he's already made his comeback. I think that losing to Mayweather, I think you should realise by now that losing to Mayweather doesn't mean squat. Do you know what I mean? If you lose to Mayweather, you lose to Mayweather. I mean, everyone loses to Mayweather. So, El Chino Maidana, brilliant fighter. Can't wait to see him back in the ring. Who's it going to be against? Lord knows. Like I said, I think he'd take anyone out. I think difficult styles for him. Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez. I think Amir Khan's a difficult style for him. Like, but then Maidana is a really, really difficult style for Amir Khan. Like, a more difficult style. But who else is there? I mean, Sean Porter, good fight, but I think Maidana will just knock his head off, to be honest with you. Good fighter, Sean Porter, but I know he's got speed. But like, none of that stuff he does is going to work against Maidana. He's too heavy, too big, too much of a big puncher. Got too much of a good jab as well. Everything. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you want to see him up against next? I'd love to see him up against Robert Guerrero. If I could make a fight, I'd make it against Robert Guerrero next for Maidana. If I could make it against anyone in top rank as well, I would like to see him up against someone like Ruslan Provodnikov. That would be a wicked fight. I'd like to see that. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment section below. Make sure you subscribe as always. Super fight Maidana Pacquiao. Could that happen if Pacquiao Mayweather doesn't get made? I don't Just don't think so, though. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the section below. Make sure you subscribe as always. In a bit.